Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you enjoyed breakfast with the boys out in left field. It's brunch with the booth in a moment. The Golden Knights are here today. The Army putting on a fantastic skydiving show. And then Vice Admiral Luke McCullum, the Chief of the Navy Reserve and the Commander of the Navy Reserve, with our first pitch. We love the pageantry and the patriotism on display at Nationals Park on these holidays. And last night, Ryan Rayburn joined that walk-off party that's becoming bigger and bigger as we go on.
Yeah, got the holiday started in the right direction last night. Right when you thought, uh-oh, here we go again, a 2-0 lead evaporates into a 2-2 tie. Bottom of the ninth, Ryan Rayburn didn't get all of it, got just enough to get it over shortstop, and Yoenis Cespedes came in with the trap. The sixth walk-off of the year for the Nationals. And everybody went nuts at the ballpark. Everybody went home happy, watched the fireworks, and now we have the best day of the year, the 4th of July in Nats Park.
So sometimes if you lose a late lead, the offense has to keep on churning. That was big for the Nats. If they drop that one, they're only 7 up on Atlanta. Braves didn't play last night. The Mets are 10.5 back. So again now, on this homestand, the Nats can send a message to Atlanta and the Mets that, hey, we're in control of this thing. Michael A. Taylor is in the leadoff spot today. His batting average is up to .281, 12 homers and 35 RBIs over the last 2 weeks, hitting just under .390. He's a great defensive center fielder. He can run, he can steal, and Michael A. Taylor becoming a bona fide big league everyday guy. Independence Day, brought to you by SC3 and CA Technologies, together delivering leading-edge technical solutions to the military. By DynCorp International, we serve today for a better tomorrow. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces, veterans, and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. And we air today's game on Masson, celebrating Independence Day. Today, America celebrating its 241st birthday. 88 right now. It's going to be well up into the 90s today by the time things heat up, noon and afterwards. Humidity, reasonable, 54%. Hazy skies. DJ Rivera, he's going to be in left field. Moved from third base just moments ago. And he's going to be batting cleanup today. And he's .349 career against the Nats. Curtis Granderson got scratched about 10 minutes ago. So Terry Collins' fragile lineup changing 5 spots as they get ready to face Joe Ross.
I see the arsenal for Joe. Fastball averaging 92 this year, slider 85. Throwing the changeup a little bit more. That's 85 miles an hour on average too. No decision last time out on the 29th. 5-4 loss to the Cubs. Went 6 2/3. Gave up a couple of runs on 5 hits. Here we go. 4th of July, Nats Park. Play ball.
11:06 in the morning for Joe Ross. First pitch, strike 1. Jose Reyes, 1 for 7 career against Joe. Had a couple of hits last night. He went 2 for 4. He was caught stealing. And on a pitch up, Reyes fouled it straight back. Carlos Torres, one of the younger umpires in the big leagues, has the play today. John Lipka, a call-up umpire at first. There's Dana DeMute, the crew chief, 35 years at second, and Paul Nauert, the 21-year veteran, at third. That start today, 49-34. And that ball is out of here if it's fair. And Jose Reyes has led off the 4th of July with his 7th home run. Joe Ross gives up his 14th in 63 innings.
Ball was crushed. Looked like a slider just stayed up, sped up Reyes' bat, caught it out front. An upper tank shot for Jose Reyes, left-handed. Remember, he had a couple of home runs on the recent road trip in Los Angeles off some guy named Clayton Kershaw. This one left-handed, and no doubter to start this game up. 1-0 Mets.
Mets, with that blast, tie the Nats for second in the National League with 124 home runs. So here's Asdrubal Cabrera, just bumped up to the number 2 spot. And last night, 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. Well, that quieted down the ballpark. One pitch. On the shift, Murphy in right field. Although 2 infielders are on the left side, Murphy just plays deeper against Cabrera. Good to see Daniel back in the lineup today, the Met killer.
Tell you what, that slider Joe Ross just threw is the same one that Jose Reyes hit out. Another slider up in the zone. He's working to get it out front, get it down, and get that break he had last start.
That ball's hard hit. Adam Lind there. Umpire signals the ball hit the ground, so Lind goes to the bag and Cabrera didn't run.
A little StatCast for you early in the ball game. It's powered by AWS. The leadoff tater by Jose Reyes, a line shot out of here. Low launch angle, 27.3 degrees, 405 feet of upper tank to give the Mets the early lead. All kinds of stuff going on over there that I can't keep track of. All right.
Here's Jay Bruce. Bruce has a career homer against Joe. Now it's a true shift with Wilmer Defoe moving over to the right side and Murphy further out into right field. Strike call. Jay Bruce scuffling 0 for 4 last night. Well inside, 1-1. A lot of folks still coming down half street.
Yeah, it's a day game after a night game for them too. 11 o'clock start. They're just getting here.
Yeah, it's a morning game after a night game. And Ryan Rayburn probably saved us from being here for another 30 to 60 minutes last night with that walk-off hit. By the way, the Nats with a huge crowd here last night, over 41,000. now over 32,000 average per game for the first time this year. That's 6th in the National League. One and two with one out.
Defense today behind Joe Ross for the Nats. Rayburn, Taylor Harper, the outfield. Defoe Drew, left side. Murphy Lynn, right side. Jose Lobaton doing the catching. Just last night's walk-off hero, Ryan Rayburn, off the bench. Base knock. Fireworks.
And Jay Bruce launches one.
My goodness.
To the right of the pole, and it's still 1-0.
That might have been a changeup from Joe Ross, and Bruce caught it out front just a hair, but he gave this one a ride-along strike. A warm day at Nats Park. If you haven't seen a ball game during the day from Nats Park when it's 90 degrees, it plays like Coors Field. Ball flies.
One and two the count. And that's up and in. Ross tried to run that fastball back, and the count goes full. Swing and a miss, pulled the string on him. Good pitch. First strikeout, 2 down.
Hey, when Joe Ross is at his best, the slider goes down, has some depth to it. And when he's scuffling it side to side, it's got some sweep to it. But watch this slider right here for strike 3 to Jay Bruce. It's got some late break, down and in. Good pitch. Same with the sinker too. Out front on top, he gets that downward true sink on it versus more the arm side run.
So now the cleanup guy, TJ Rivera, had a base hit last night on a 5-game streak, 7 for 17. And Ross gets ahead. 3 for 5 against Joe in his career. So Joe Ross and Tanner Roark have had first inning problems this year. Joe's now given up 10 earned runs in 12 starts, 11 total. Tanner's been victimized by a couple of big first innings lately. That ball's going to be served to right field on a good swing by Rivera. 2 hits for the Mets in the first, and Lucas Duda will be next.
I'm having first inning problems with my scorecard right now. That late lineup change, doing it on the air maybe for the first time ever.
Yeah, Curtis Granderson scratched 10 minutes before we went on the air, if that. And then 5 spots in the lineup changing for Terry Collins. Lucas Duda, looking at the numbers this morning, would be expected to be Joe Ross's big problem in the Mets lineup. 4 for 6 in the matchup, 2 homers, 2 walks.
You always say, you know, a 1 o'clock start is a 4-seam fastball. A 7 o'clock start is a 2-seam fastball. The 4 o'clock start's a nasty changeup. I don't even know what an 11 o'clock start is. Baseball players are creatures of habit. They're not used to this. So lineups out late. No BP today. Obviously not knowing if Curtis Granderson can go or not. So everybody's scrambling. Way out of their routine. I think 11 o'clock starts a 92-mile-an-hour split.
Ooh,
yeah,
nastiest of all. 2-0 to Duda. Danger count to him, and he drives it to left. Ryan Rayburn tracking it. Mets come out hacking in the top of the first. Now the Nats take on Seth Lugo. First responders and all the other people that help us be safe. Boys' day out at the ballpark. Well done, guys. Here we go with the Nats lineup. So Ryan Zimmerman's out today. Anthony Rendon is not playing, but Daniel Murphy's in there. He wears out the Mets in this ballpark, 21 for 48, 8 RBIs, 13 ball games. Murph is second in the league to Buster Posey, 6 points behind him at 333. And Bryce Harper, he's up to 5th in the National League, hitting 318. Seth Lugo, 1-on-1 career against the Nats.
I see the Arsenal fastball 91, slider 86, curveball changeup to go with it. Earned his second consecutive win last start on the 29th at Miami. Gave up 3 runs on 6 hits and 6 innings of work.
Taylor up there swinging, tough little backhand chance over by the back for Wilmer Flores. Inserted into the game at the last minute, and the ball found him.
Yeah, through 90 pitches his last start, 57 of those for strikes. And the spin rate on his curveball is something to watch. It's 3,300 RPMs, which leads major league pitchers, so he spins it up there pretty good on his off-speed stuff. Ironically enough, it's not his best pitch.
Strike called to Wilmer Defoe in the number 2 spot today. Wilmer, it seems like when he gets on the starting lineup sheet, he does all right. He's been on base 16 of the 20 times. Dusty has started him this year, but Lugo's going to grab the comebacker on a hop and 2 quick outs.
Here's the Mets' revised defense today. Rivera, Nimmo, Brucey outfield, Reyes, Flores left side, Cabrera, Duda right side, Rene Rivera behind the plate.
Bryce Harper 1 for 7 career against Seth Lugo. Coming in on a pretty good streak.
Check it out. Red cleat, blue cleat.
Pops it up on the first pitch. It's going to be a very quick first inning. I've got 4 pitches total for Seth Lugo. Lesson brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By American Standard Heating and Air. Go to MidAtlanticComfort.com for special offers and to find a dealer near you. And by USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. Sunny day, hot day. Some of that haze overhead in the last hour or so has burned off here. Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Jeep. So inside the division, the Nats have the best record in the National League, even better than the Dodgers do against their West. The Astros and Yankees doing quite well. And that 21-14 by the Cubs indicates that they still should win the Central. Wilmer Flores, top of the second, strike one. Pitch number 22 from Joe Ross. So Flores at 284, 3 for 12 career against Joe.
You know, talking about the late lineup change for Terry Collins today, I remember either last year or 2 years ago on the 4th of July, we had a lineup card discrepancy. Yeah, there was differences in the lineup card. I can't remember if the Giants were in town or what the team was, but that's how tough the 11 a.m. start is for managers and players. I think they messed up the lineup card, and either Matt Williams or Dusty Baker caught it.
That's a check swing and might have been a called third strike anyway. And Joe Ross gets his second K of the day. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
Yeah, obviously looking somewhere else. That slider right down the middle didn't do a whole lot. You saw Joe Ross wince after he threw it. He'll take the 3-pitch strikeout, but he's still trying to find the break on the slider here early.
Here's the catcher, Rene Rivera. Checks in at 256. And Ross getting ahead for the most part. That might have been his best slider right there. Looked like it was on the edge for a while. Ended up way outside. Nasty. Target up. Right where Lobaton had his mitt.
Now that's a pitch that a lot of the Nats starters have been using this year. Matt Wieder's a big fan of that 2-strike fastball up. It's a great pitch when you get it up there. But if you don't, it has a tendency to go far. It's a fine line between that heater up with 2 strikes and the one that's not high enough.
And then the 2-2 pitch stays up. Season series, Nationals 8-3, tied up the Nationals park record at 2-2 with a win last night. And Ross missing way outside for the 3-2 pitch and his first walk.
Bring the whole family to the yard for the new and improved Sunday Family Fun Day. All right, arrive early on the all-new inflatable T-ball game. Chalk and poster making stations, that's always fun, and more. And then stay after the game for kids run the bases. Save up to 36% with the Nationals Family Fun Pack. That's presented by Harris Teeter. Visit nationals.com/tickets. I think it was Jonathan Lucroy that was batting out of order, and the Brewers were in town. Remember that?
Yeah.
Somebody clued me in on Twitter. I didn't remember that. There's no shot.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I think Ryan Braun and he used to hit 3 and 4, and for some reason they flip-flopped him on that day, and Craig Counsell missed it, and we said, hey, it's 11 o'clock start. If I'm managing at 11, I might miss that too.
Yeah, it seems to me that the bench coach wore that one that day.
Yeah.
Craig Counsell got caught by surprise. Two guys you don't want to face no matter what order they were in. And those guys were hitting back to back. Here's Brandon Nimmo, the number 8 hitter. Lobaton sets up on the inside edge, and the fastball's further in, ball 1. Joe falls behind.
Yeah, you can tell Joe Ross and how he's feeling about his stuff by the pace in which he pitches.
That fly ball is in the left field corner. Trouble if fair, and it falls foul, slicing just enough away from Ryan Rayburn.
When he's confident in how his sinker slider combo is coming out, he gets on the mound and throws it. You remember last start against the Cubs, 7 strikeouts, gave up just 2 runs in 6 2/3. His tempo was nice. He was getting it and going, wasn't thinking too much out there, but when he doesn't like how it's looking, he'll really try to be deliberate, slow the game down, and think about maybe mechanics and slowing the game down, not letting him get away from him.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Brandon Nimmo, actually no double play balls yet. He's only been up there this year 16 times, 4 hits. Joe Ross would love a ground ball here, but it's a line drive up the middle. So that's 8 batters, and 4 of them have been aboard, giving Seth Lugo a great opportunity. Already up 1-0 to bunt 2 guys ahead.
Well, he's trying to work downhill, but watch this changeup. It's belt high, and Jose Lobaton wanted it down the way, and he kind of held on to it too long and pulled it across the plate. So he's still searching to get the ball down no matter what pitch it is. Trying to survive here until he figures it out.
Going to pinch from the corners here. Drew at third, Lind at first. Lugo 2 sacrifice bunts this year. Limited sample size, but he can handle the bat. He's 2 for 8. And in his big league career, he's 5 for 24, and that's a perfect bunt. Lobaton took a quick glance to second, then threw it on to Murphy. 2-4 in the sacrifice. Daniel gets the ball and calls time. And so the Mets have runners at second and third, 2 down.
Don't miss the next Nats on 9. This Friday, Nats host the Braves. It all starts at 7 p.m. right here on WUSA 9. 4th of July, WUSA, I get it.
Yeah, welcome aboard. WUSA 9, glad to have you with us a couple of times this week. Top of the order, Jose Reyes has gone deep. Jose Reyes was ice cold when the Nats visited New York a couple of weeks ago. They won 3 out of 4. It took DeGrom with a good effort on Sunday to salvage a game. But during that series, Jose Reyes, his bat started coming alive. Still hitting just over 200, but he was down at about $180 at that time. And he's already homered here today. Had a couple of hits last night. And he's going to drill this ball to center. Taylor loping back for it. Joe Ross not fooling the Mets so far, but it's still 1-0, and here comes the Met killer, Daniel Murphy, about to lead off.
Manager of the Washington Nationals. I just want to wish all of our military members, men and women, that are serving our country so that we can be free. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you very much for your service. Well said, Dusty Baker, a former Marine Reserve. 1-0 Mets as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Calling all Terps. Join the Nats on Sunday, July 9th. We celebrate the second of 7 college days at Nats Park. Are there 7 colleges around here? That's scary. With a special ticket, University of Maryland students, alumni, and fans can enjoy outfield reserve tickets, the Maryland Nationals co-branded New Era hats. So visit nationals.com/special ticket for college day at the ballpark.
Couldn't make enough caps for all the schools, but 7, that's a pretty good number.
I couldn't even make it to 1 on time, so, or ever for that matter. So 7, that's scary.
Daniel Murphy, 101 hits, 3rd in the league, 25 doubles, 41 extra base hits. And a high fly ball to right. It's still going. Back on the track is Bruce, and a long, loud first out here in the second.
Yeah, I think he knew right away. Just got underneath that. I mean, that's the design, right? Foot down early, look for the bottom half of the ball, get it in the air. That's right where he was looking, and he knows he just missed it. You see the frustration after the swing. You know how I think, and I know the balls are more firm this year, it's just the sound off the bats. Whether it's the maple or the birch or whatever they're using, every single ball sounds like it's shot out of a cannon this year. And besides the opposite field home runs by pitchers, just the noise off the bat, the acoustics of it all, much more loud. It sounds like they're hitting rocks.
Yeah, you made the observation yesterday watching some highlights from the weekend that they're not baseballs this year. They're rocks covered by horsehide or
they are.
cowhide, whatever.
They are.
So Lucas Duda takes care of Adam Lind. Here's Ryan Rayburn. Last night's base hit walk-off hero.
Well, it was a cool walk-off in the sense that everybody was still in the ballpark. Nobody had left because it was fireworks night. And Yoenis Cespedes came in, gave it his best effort. The trap, everybody goes home happy. That was actually the trainer that went out to see Cespedes last night. He's not in there today. Terry Collins before the game saying that he didn't want to play Cespedes today because of fear of dehydration. He cramped up on that play last night. And you remember our friend James Wagner, he now works up in New York as one of the beat writers, and he said that they're having trouble getting Cespedes to drink water during the games. He doesn't like it because it doesn't have a taste, so he doesn't hydrate during the games.
Gatorade has a taste. That would help, right?
Yeah. Pedialyte has a taste.
Ryan Rayburn, 308 overall for the Nats. In his last 5 starts, he's gone 7 for 19. So he's been a nice find by Mike Rizzo. And he got the base hit that got the Nats their 6th walk-off win last night. Walk-off numbers brought to you by Jeep. They'd rather you go for a ride, but it's fun to walk off as well.
Didn't they have that many in a homestand one time?
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago, that week when we did that one game from the President's Club down there.
Yeah.
And we were right behind home plate, and I think the Nats had, what, 4 in a week?
Yeah.
And they were coming from behind for those. 3-1 to Rayburn. And the Nats have their first base run right ahead of Stephen Drew.
Well, the Rockettes are here. I think they're going on the dugout between innings. There they are.
They're ready.
Ready, call them up.
Ryan Rayburn high steps it down to first.
I want to see what kind of shoes they're going to wear on the dugout between innings, because if they got heels on, we might see some sniper action.
I hope there's traction.
we might have to stay on this during the break. This could get ugly.
Well, Rockettes from New York better be rooting for the Nats. Strike 1 to Drew.
Yeah, what's that about?
Stephen Drew has not faced Seth Lugo before, but over 15 ball games, Stephen is 11 for 29. He's been fantastic since coming back from that long layoff with the hamstring. Modified shift on. Shortstop just left of center, up the middle, Reyes. And then a step on to the right field grass, Cabrera. So Steven at 311 overall. Breaking ball gets away. Secondary lead for Rayburn, but he decided to stay. Rene Rivera has a good arm. He's thrown out 9 of 22 base stealers this year.
I think the glove to the backhand might have fooled Ryan Rayburn. If you see a catcher flip his glove over regular there, go to his knees to block, maybe you think about taking off, but he thought he was going to glove that to the backhand. He actually stopped before the ball hit the dirt.
Two-one. Andrew, pop fly, short center. Here comes Nimmo. The Nats, a walk in 2 innings. The Rockettes are on deck and on the dugout.
Careful. Game 2017. It's a final vote. It ends on 4 p.m. on Thursday. Let's go to nationals.com/vote and vote for Anthony Rendon. Got the day off today. He was kind of getting down the line slow yesterday. They're not getting down the line slow. Dangerously close to the edge and going into the Mets dugout, however, as we watched during the... I'm an analyst. I got to analyze it. I was worried about him going backwards. But they made it. The Rockettes, way to go.
Yeah, they were on both dugouts. That's the Met dugout, and the Nats had a nice contingent. On the first base side, well done. The crowd loved it. And now it's the top of the third. Cabrera, Bruce, and Rivera, 2-3-4 for New York. Joe Ross so far, 35 pitches, 28 strikes. He's been hit rather hard here in the early innings. Cabrera first time up. Ground ball to Adam Lind. Actually a one-hop line drive. Adam picked it, went to the bag, and Cabrera stood in the batter's box thinking he had lined out in the air. One ball, one strike. Only game in baseball this is until 1:05 today when the Blue Jays are at the Yankees. Next National League game is later today. Marlins at St. Louis, and the Marlins got blown out there last night. They're 12 back of the Nats. Way outside on the off speed, 2-1.
Did you tell me last year's score on the air or during the break? The Brewers score.
1-0.
Yeah.
On a home run by Martin Maldonado. The Brewers beat Max Scherzer and the Nats in that game last year. And I went back and pulled the scorebook. The game had already started, so I never bothered to flip-flop Braun and LeCroy. I just put their initials next to each bat so we could keep it straight. They had Braun batting third. He was supposed to be fourth, and vice versa with LeCroy. They went a combined 1 for 8 with a base hit, so they didn't figure in the scoring.
1-0 score on an 11 a.m. game does not shock me a bit.
Yeah. And there's a base on balls. So July 4th, 2009, big number 44, Adam Dunn, his 3rd time up of the day, and there it went. Upper deck, out in right field.
Watch the catcher reach for the ball on contact. Did you see that? As soon as Dunn made contact, he just reached back for a new baseball.
That was Dunn's 22nd that year, 300th of his career. And the Nats beat the Braves 5-3 behind John Lannon with a save from Mike McDougal. Lannon went 8 innings that day, and the Nats won 5-3. Got a lot of flashbacks for the 4th of July today. Home run heroics. Fun walk-off stuff.
It's a great tradition that Major League Baseball has granted the Nats. A home game every 4th, 11 a.m. start. It's becoming tradition here in D.C.
Jay Bruce struck out swinging first time. And the other thing about that, in a moment, here's Jeep. So the Nats have made 9 appearances on the 4th of July. They just didn't want the orphans to have to travel way back in the 1800s, the Chicago Orphans.
Yeah, they didn't hit a lot of home runs, no pop.
Come on. Pirates, Braves, Pirates again, but the Orphans take the cake on that one. Spontaneity, that's what it's all about. Swing and a miss on a changeup, 1-2. Nissan on the pitch cast.
See the changeup grip. Good late movement off the plate.
One and two. Trying to get him to roll over a ground ball maybe with that off speed. Nats have a shift on. That's going to go the other way to the screen. And because of the 4th of July home scenario, more often than not, the Nats kind of always get that last week at home before the All-Star break, which is a good thing. Sometimes it varies here and there on the weekend. But always great to be home for this fantastic holiday. They're still coming in out there at the center field gate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Asdrubal doesn't run much at this stage of his career, but he is 3 out of 4.
Sometimes you throw over to see if they're going, and sometimes you throw over to get it out. I think that was the latter. You're trying to pick them off.
Long pause. Bruce is going to hook one out into right field. Here comes Bryce. It's a long run, and he puts it away. Big guy takes that big swing, and then Harper had to read it. He's still playing Gold Glove defense.
Yeah, didn't get the best jump. Maybe he didn't see it off the bat, but the makeup speed and the route by Bryce Harper allows him to make a sweet play. So off the end, right? Jay Bruce thinking, I finally got a knock. It's going to drop Bryce with a late break. Coming in hot, sliding. And a nice play with 2 different color cleats and a lot of hair. It's good hustle by Bryce Harper to make up for maybe a ball he didn't see.
T.J. Rivera. Base hit out Bryce's way first time. And now he's 4 for 6 career against Joe Ross. All in on what he thought was the first pitch fastball. So he has a 6-game hitting streak now, Rivera. 8 for his last 18. Up the middle. Mets have a hit, at least one in every inning, and 4 so far, plus a couple of bases on balls. So first and second for Lucas Duda with 1 out. Duda hit the ball well. And today's game on Masson, happy 4th, brought to you by FH Fur. Absolutely the best. I'm sure they got some guys working on AC today. Here's Duda, who lined out to Rayburn first time up, hit the ball pretty well. So the Mets have out-hit the Nationals 4-0.
I talked to Lucas yesterday during batting practice, and I didn't realize how tall the guy is. You meet him in person, it's a large human being standing at the plate.
That's a good running fastball. Joe got that one back to the corner.
Remember, he was the inventor of the foie, according to Daniel Murphy's story. Whenever they hit home runs in New York, he'd come back in the dugout, and that's the noise that Lucas Duda made, and Daniel Murphy brought that to D.C., and maybe a tribute to his former teammate, or he just liked the way it sounded. Either way, it works.
Yeah, Duda, when healthy, he's a good hitter, good power guy. 14 homers, 30 RBIs. Swing and a miss. That's a beautiful slider at 84. Joe Ross, 3rd strikeout.
See, there's the slider that goes down, and Joe Ross maybe started to get a feel for it. Watch him get it out front, stay on top of it. You see the fingers on top of the baseball? Now you get the downward motion. It's almost like a power curveball. Doesn't go into lefties necessarily. It's more straight down. Good pitch.
Wilmer Flores struck out looking first time. Kind of took a half swing at it. The ball fooled him. It was right in the strike zone. He was reaching for it, cut off, and it's true to Murphy on the 5-4. Well, Joe Ross is scuffling, but the good news is he's kept this a 1-run game.
Jose Lobaton leading off bottom 3 for this Nationals club. This is Lobi's 23rd start of the season, which means he's now started 28% of the Nationals games to this point, well up from this point last season. And Dusty Baker saying today he's done that, playing Lobe this frequently with the purpose of keeping Matt Wieters fresh. Wieters averaged 140 games played over a 4-year span from 2010 to 2013. That's a heavy workload for a catcher. And since then has battled some injuries, including Tommy John surgery in 2014. So Dusty has been very mindful of Wieters' playing time over these first 3 months of the season, saying he wants to be sure Matt is healthy for the stretch run. So he'll give him days off from time to time, not just the standard day game after a night game, guys, but other days as well to keep Matt Wieters fresh for the long haul.
There's a great swing by his replacement. All right, Dan, you talked about Wieters on our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. And Jose Lobaton has his 6th hit in his last 6 starts.
Well, a lot of people probably viewing for the first time today, so I do this every year on this day. There goes a no-hitter. That's a tribute to Felipe Alou, my old manager. He used to say it every game. When our ball club got our first hit, he said that's the first thing you got to take care of, then the shutout. So there goes a no-hitter. I say it every night as a tribute to my former skipper.
Now Joe Ross, in a 1-0 game, could get Lobaton to scoring position. It'll have to be a good bunt. Flores already pinching from third, and Duda ready to charge from first and get out of there, up and in.
I'll tell you what, they're crashing too hard for Joe Ross. This is a guy that can swing it. Dusty Baker uses him as a pinch hitter. And I wouldn't be surprised after seeing that right there if he doesn't pull back and go butcher boy here and try to hit it by somebody. We'll see. Flores real tight, Duda real tight. There was plenty of infield if he can get the ball on the ground, pulling back and hitting.
Yeah, that'll give them pause, and the count's 1-1.
Wilmer Flores saying, I might have been too close right there. But he's not budging. He's staying in the same spot. There's zombie third base coach Bob Edley.
Yeah, no chance the beard's going to change colors today either. Joe 5 for 28 this year, 3 sacrifices. Yeah, no sign of squaring, and now on 0, or rather 1-2, you figure he's swinging for sure. Michael A. Taylor on deck. He's going to take strike 3. First K for Seth Lugo, and the Nats go 1 for 8 with a walk first time around.
So scoreless game. You're thinking whoever scores first wins this. Well, I guess you were right when you guessed Michael A. Taylor would hit another tater. So Michael A. Tater, if you will, is 12th of the year, and a full house went nuts when he hit this last night. DC Lexus Steelers donate $250 to the Children's National Health System for the first 200 taters the Nats hit this season. Lexus experience amazing.
Yeah, 76 more and they'll be there. So the Nats have 124 homers, and this is their 84th game of the year.
And he's just so much more confident. He's standing tall up there, not trying to do too much. About an 85% swing and thinking right center every single time, and it's working for him.
By the way, worthy of note, Lobaton now 3 for 3 career against Seth Lugo with that base hit. Outside to Taylor, ball 1. PNC takes us inside the numbers. So last couple of weeks, Michael A. fantastic. Almost an RBI a day, almost a run scored per day. And he was out there motoring with Trey Turner before Trey got hurt. 1-0 pitch. Such a quantum leap for Michael A. getting all this playing time now after Adam Eaton got hurt. His major league batting average career was .228 into this season. And he's gone far above and beyond, showing no signs of slowing down. 1-1 count. He's going to bunt for a hit. Pick it up.
Forget about it. Golf clap from Ryan Zimmerman, Anthony Rendon. So he can go deep and he can play small ball too. Nice bunt by Michael A. Taylor. Looked at Wilmer Flores, he was back. You see how early he squared? And it's such a good lesson for you young bunters. Oftentimes you square around too late for a hit, about the element of surprise, but placement is far more important than the surprise factor. And you saw Taylor square around just early enough to get the barrel out, kill the ball down the third baseline. That was perfect.
Here's Wilmer Defoe. Comebacker first time. He did hit the ball rather sharply. Lugo picked it off, and the tying runs at second base. Defoe will drive one out to center. And on the track, it's grabbed by Brandon Nimmo, and the runners return. Ball hit well. So here's our next 5 tomorrow. Tanner Roark and Jacob deGrom. We're back to 7:05 tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. And then the Braves are coming in. WUSA 9 will rejoin us Friday night. 4 o'clock against the Bravos on Saturday, and then we'll wrap up the mythical first half of the season. 1:30 on Sunday. Jacob deGrom beat the Nats in New York. That was the only game they won in that 4-game series. I say mythical because we're already 2 games beyond the absolute halfway point in the season, as the Nats have played 83 games. So here's Bryce in a big spot. Still the early innings and a chance to tie this thing up or put the Nats on top. Lobaton getting as good a lead from second base with 2 outs as he can. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
Okay, going back to the leg kick, we showed you just the heel up approach that he hit a couple of home runs on Sunday night in St. Louis, and today he's back to the modified leg kick, trying to generate some power and the superhero cleats to go with it.
So Lugo had him out ahead. Now it's 0-2.
Got style points on high right now for Bryce Harper. He's got the red glove matching the red cleat, the blue glove matching the blue cleat. Now he's just got to get a base hit.
Oh, 2 now. The battle begins for contact here. Harper to center. That's a problem for the Mets, and the game is tied. Harper on an 0-2 pitch reaches out and touches one. 92nd hit, 63rd RBI, and this one's back even.
A 2-strike approach, kept the foot down the ground and just kind of flips one out there to center field. Reyes gave it a good effort. 2 outs, Jose Lobaton off on the crack of the bat. The ball plays perfectly for Bryce Harper to tie this game up. So put the ball in play with 2 strikes, good things will happen. Got a tie ball game.
Yes, sir, and Taylor all the way to third. Bryce now 14 for his last 34 over 10 games.
So in the era of the strikeout, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Once in a while.
It's a beautiful thing, right?
You swing it like a 3-0 hack right there, and you drag your bat back to the dugout and get your glove, or you flip one into center field for a 2-out RBI knock.
There's Murphy now with a chance to put the Nationals on top. By the way, if you hear some noise in the background, just upriver from us at the Anacostia, they're having a 21-gun salute at the Navy Yard, so not to worry. Murphy with an RBI hit to left center, and Harper heading for third. The Nats on top as the big boys deliver in the middle of the lineup. .21-gun salute indeed, and the Nats making some noise.
RBI number 56 for Daniel Murphy. Watch the sweet swing. Fastball up by Seth Lugo. Didn't want it there, and look at the lean back opposite field approach. That's the one I like to compare to Wade Boggs. That swing right there. Whenever Daniel Murphy goes to left center, it reminds me of Wade Boggs. Murph with a lot more pop than Wade Boggs had, but that was a pretty swing to make it 2-1.
Mercy, uncle, the Mets say to Daniel Murphy. And by the way, that added to his 377 with runners in scoring position. And Murph has driven in 56 this year. This inning isn't over yet. Here's Adam Lind. He takes one outside.
How'd you go?
So a pair of 2-out RBI hits. You guys call those stakes, right?
So Daniel Murphy's played 31 games against his old ball club. He's reached base every single game except for one, and that was last night in a pinch hit appearance to break up the streak. So 30 of 31 against Terry Collins' ball club. He has absolutely tortured his old team. All kinds of damage in there too.
2-0 to Lind. Look out here. He'll take the strike. Four hits in the inning. That ball driven to left center and cutting it off Rivera, who is playing way off the line. Ball absolutely scorched. And some great small ball by the Nats in the third.
Ross, I want to say happy July 4th and thank you to all the past and present service members of our military.
Well said, Joe. Making some adjustments out there. Slider changeup looking good off his sinker. Let's check out Bryce Harper's catch one more time. Day games are tough with the glare to get good jumps. And we'll show you some StatCast on Bryce Harper's catch. 27 feet per second. He covered 66.2 feet. Give me exit velocity and launch angle on the hair as he's diving for this one, because the flow is special right now. StatCast is brought to you from Fios by Verizon. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Go to getfios.com today.
Well, here's a great time for Joe Ross to get his morning and afternoon in order, just as we pass noontime here. He's got a lead to work with. High fly ball to center, off the bat of Rivera, and just like that, it's tied. And the Mets have two leadoff homers today. Reyes in the first, Rene Rivera in the fourth.
I mean, there is no reason to hit the ball on the ground ever in 2017. This looked like a slider up to Rivera. Well, maybe not up, but where he was looking, out over the plate. Good extension, ball flying today, and just like that, you're all tied again.
Rivera's sixth. Reyes earlier hit his seventh. And here's Brandon Nimmo. Number 8 hitter, then Lugo here. Run back action for a strike, 1-1. You know, it's interesting, Pete, not only the home runs, but as you and I've talked a lot of off the air while we watch different highlight shows up here before the game, where they're going. Guys hitting straightaway center, going opposite field. I mean, that was some kind of poke for a right-handed batter over a 13-foot wall about 395 feet away.
I've talked about it before when the big guys used to go opposite field. Everybody in the dugout would take notice.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, last time the Nats were in New York, Jacob deGrom, the pitcher, hit one to left the other way at Citi Field. I mean, deGrom can hit, and he's a good athlete. There's no doubt about it. But pitchers going opposite field leads me to believe that something's up.
2-2 pitch, target in, at least on the edge. Ross goes in there, and it just stays inside. Ball 3.
And there was always talk, Carp, in the past about the balls they used in the home run derby. I feel like they're using them during the game this year. Those same balls that allegedly were used in the home run hitting contest in previous years. Because every game this year has been a home run derby.
So 3-2 with nobody out. Don't want to walk this guy and give Lugo a chance to sacrifice like he did first time up. That was a slider hanging around the inside corner. Nimmo 2 for 2 as he rides it into right field. And now the Mets have 6 hits.
Taste of the World is back on Saturday, July 8th. Nats celebrate international culture and cuisine with pre-game grub and drinks. Special ticket includes Nats Braves game at 4:05. Plus, you take home a set of branded salt and pepper shakers. Visit nationals.com/special ticket for your salt and pepper shakers. That's a gut bomb.
Yeah, a little cheese on the chili there.
Too early for that today.
Yeah, but everybody who's here had breakfast like at 7, so.
That's true.
And by the way, some of our Mass and crew members were here as early as 6 a.m. this morning. We salute them. Thank you, guys and ladies, and all your hard work sure makes our job a lot easier up here. We appreciate it. Happy 4th to you. That's in the air, and Lind has it. No chance for Murphy to beat Nimmo to the bag, and 1 out.
See, with last year's baseball, that bunt falls short, and he gets the job done.
Bunt's carrying better.
Give me the launch angle and exit velocity on that bunt. Ball's crushed. Adam Lind with, see how he's charging to cover the inside part. Serious ups right there.
Top of the order, Jose Reyes has looked dangerous. He has homered and lined out hard to rather deep center. Michael A. Taylor had to go back and get it for the last out, 2nd inning. That's a high fastball in the zone for Ross to get ahead. Stephen Drew, even with a back at third, he was on the grass for the previous pitch. And now 1-1. He's on the dirt. Close to the edge and just missing. And this one high in the air, short right field. And now over into foul ground, Daniel Murphy, plenty of room. Lost his cap right at the end of it, and 2 outs. Now Joe Ross against Asdrubal Cabrera. The former Nat has bounced out to first and walked.
The whole thing about him not wanting to play second base is strange in the sense that he came over to the Nats in 14 and played an amazing second base and never said a word. He was happy to be here. Everybody liked him. He made play after play after play at second base, a position that he hadn't played in years. And now maybe on a team that's not winning, he doesn't want to play over there because I don't know why. He was a good second baseman here.
And I've been told that his range this year compared to last year, nowhere near what he was doing at shortstop last season.
Probably just the pride thing.
He was pretty good up the middle with Ian Desmond for the Nats. Got a lot of clutch hits for our ball club. 2-0. Didn't hit for high average, but the timing of Asdrubal's hits always very good in terms of 2-out RBIs and moving runners and things like that.
And his ejection in spring training this year was fantastic.
One of the best spring training memories I've ever had.
It's not a long list probably to top.
No, not really.
It was Angel Hernandez, right?
Yeah, that and Michael A. Taylor's walk-off homer, our first game in the new ballpark in West Palm.
Angel.
Memories I'll take with me forever.
Angel's suing Major League Baseball. Did you see that?
Angel is? Why? Because he's not a crew chief?
Yeah, discrimination is what I saw today online.
He has a lot more service time than a lot of guys who are crew chiefs. 2-0, and that's a foul. Interesting. Asdrubal that year played 49 games with the Nats, hit only .229, but he drove in 21 runs, and then he had 3 hits, a homer, and 2 RBIs in the division series against the Giants. Two and one, shift on. Murphy in short right field. That's the Joe Ross fastball with that little swing back to the inside edge. Nissan on the pitch cast.
And starts it off the plate. Cabrera gives up, comes back late. Good pitch. Maybe his best pitch of the day.
There's a guy charting pitches today who wants some of those tomorrow. And Tanner Roark's going well. That's his forte. Two. A runner at first, 2 down. Time given. Joe Ross is at 72 pitches with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Seth Lugo through 3 innings has only thrown 35. Gave him his A move, and Nimmo back easily. Lobaton moving to his right. Runner going. And a foul, and I don't know if it hit Mike Maddox. If it didn't hit him, it got the screen right where he was leaning there. Mike looks like he's all right. That Gio gave him the ball.
That was coming in hot. The danger there is falling down the stairs more than getting hit by the baseball when you're backpedaling to avoid it.
Two pitch again. This time Lobaton to the outer edge. And that ball's well hit the other way. Tracking it, Rayburn. And that's it for the Mets in the top of the fourth. They get a leadoff homer by Rene Rivera. And the fourth inning of Nationals baseball is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Rayburn, Drew Lobaton coming up, and we're all back even. Nats, we're going bottom four. Freight Rare works with our do-up. So Ryan Rayburn, as I mentioned, a good find for the Nats. He's already in the batter's box, and there's Stephen Drew on deck. Jose Lobaton, who something happens between him and the Mets. He likes getting hits against them. 6, 7, 8 here. Rayburn walked first time up. Playing in his 17th game with the Nats. Starting his 6th game, he's 12 for 39 with a homer, 2 RBIs, and 3 walks. A strike from Seth Lugo, who's been a strike thrower today. Good cutter there. 0-2.
You pick up a guy like Ryan Rayburn and he contributes as much as he has already, it's a win-win. And when you pick up a guy off waivers and he wins a ball game for you with a walk-off knock, I mean, that's just all bonus. So you talk about getting a guy that's really helped the ball club, especially against lefties. You're looking at him. He's done a nice job since he was called up from Syracuse, so the Nats picked him up.
It's only .220 for the Rockies last year, but he hit 9 homers, drove in 30. Property of the White Sox when the Nats got him. And that is on the outside edge. Seth Lugo up to 95 for his 2nd strikeout today. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. It's our traditional trot. In order, George, Tom, Abe, and Teddy on the 4th of July carrying the Stars and Stripes, and why not? For George's 13th win of the year, Abe has 13. Thomas Jefferson 14, and Teddy, well,
he's back to being a loser, Bob.
a lovable loser at that.
I'm getting a lot of tweets that want to see the President's Race StatCast.
That ball is gashed into right center by Stephen Drew. He's going to plug the gap at the scoreboard. And it'll be his 7th extra base hit of the year on double number 6. How do you get that much time off and come back as locked in as Stephen Drew has?
Well, he's just a professional hitter. He's a guy that learned how to be a bench player last year for the first time and has done a tremendous job for Dusty Baker, whether it's in a pinch hit role, a spot start, so a 1-out double. And that's trying to answer the solo home run the Mets just put up at the top of the inning.
Stephen Drew, 257 doubles in his career. There's Jose Lobaton, who singled to get the rally going back in the 3rd inning. Scored on the Harper hit, and then Taylor scored on the Murphy shot to left center. So Jose Lobaton, in the games he's starting lately, 6 for his last 18.
Well, even if you're known for being a defensive catcher, you still want to contribute offensively when you get your chance. That's why you spend so much time in the cage working on your swing.
Good eye there, 2-0.
You want those tangible results, to see a couple knocks in the box score. You know, Jose contributes with the fingers he puts down, his framing skills and his throwing ability every time he's in there, but to be able to hit and join that party is always fun. I don't care who you are.
Not to be forgotten, last year he hit .311 after Wilson Ramos went down. Last 16 starts. And Lobaton looks at ball 3 with Joe Ross on deck. Tie game, bottom of the 4th. Joe tried to bunt for 1 pitch and then went swinging and actually took a called 3rd strike. And Lobaton takes one inside edge.
Yeah, I'm looking at the outfield right now for the Mets. Pretty easy send for Bob Henley. You got the pitcher on deck, anything on the ground through. And Nimmo playing almost no doubles. Look how deep Nimmo is in center field against Jose Lobaton. Ball carrying here today, so maybe that's why. But you can run on Rivera, you can run on Bruce, and you can definitely run on Nimmo.
Lobaton will take the 1-out walk. He's on for the 2nd time. How about July 4th, 2013, and Wilson Ramos, who Lobaton used to back up? He was batting 8th that day with Jordan Zimmerman, or rather Taylor Jordan pitching. And look at this day. That's a 3-run homer in the 7th. He had singled twice before that, driving in 2. So the Buffalo, in an 8-5 win against Milwaukee, drove in 5 runs against the Brew Crew.
The Buffalo could watch a Tater, couldn't he? He was not afraid to just hang out at home plate for a while.
He was not a secret admirer. That's a strike. Hey, man, when he hit them, they stayed hit, right? Yep. That was a great day in 13 for him, and we wish him well now that he's back healthy and playing for the Rays. A year ago at this time, he was about to head to the All-Star game with 4 of his teammates here. And now it's 0-2 to Joe Ross. Time to take a good hack and see what happens with Taylor on deck here, 4th inning. Nats have had 5 hits and 2 walks. And Ross got a piece of it. Lugo had that ridiculous 4-pitch, 4-strike first inning. That got him off to a great start. Way outside.
A lot of managers would have bunted their pitcher right here to get a couple more runners in scoring position, but Dusty Baker, with tons of confidence in Joe Ross's hitting ability, let him swing away.
One-two pitch, and he couldn't stop. Third strikeout by Lugo. Lost twice. It's up to Michael A. Taylor. Potomac Nationals are back in Woodbridge starting today, so you can check them out. 6:35 game against the Frederick Keys tonight. You can get a pregame picnic. That's from 5 to 6:30, and then your package includes a game ticket and a big fireworks display. You know how to find them. Happy 4th. We hope you're having a great time with family or friends today. Have a great meal later if you're not doing that already. Most of all, be safe. And celebrate the 241st birthday of this amazing country. Taylor. Off speed inside.
Pretty good numbers with runners in scoring position. That's because of his new right field approach. He's thinking up the middle and the other way. Keeps you on the off speed.
Takes again, and that catches the edge. 1-1. So maybe mindful of that homer last night. They're pitching him inside.
Well, he gets you out of there if he's looking in. That's a dangerous place to look, right on the edge. Good pitch.
On the Mercedes-Benz pitch cast. Oh, that was close. And a rather casual safe call by Dana DeMuth. Cabrera had a ways to go, and Drew was way off the bat.
Yeah, he might have said safe out loud, but we couldn't tell up here, and I was waiting for a call from Dana. Stephen Drew just back in there. Bob Henley yelling back as loud as again, and there's the safe call as we have to get to the hitter. That's how long it took. Guess it was that obvious.
1-1 to Taylor. Fastball up in the zone. Strike 2. Lugo making only his 5th start. So 3rd time around the order has been really rough for him this year. He's 3-1 with a 4.26 coming in. Opponent's batting average 2.74. And now another visit from Rene Rivera.
Might want to get on the same page and go no sign right here in a big situation in a tie ball game. Don't have to worry about pitches being relayed.
By the way, just an update sent out by the Nationals. Anthony Rendon in that vote is in 3rd place behind Justin Turner and Chris Bryant.
We'll get after it then.
It's a heck of a list. Taylor, a chopper. He's off to the races. Lugo bare hand, and quite a pick in the dirt by Lucas Duda. Not only to glove it, but keeping it from going down the line. Well played by the pitcher and the first baseman. 2-2 into the 5th. the Golden Knights, one of only 3 Department of Defense sanctioned aerial demonstration teams, to the Rockettes, to some solid baseball on the part of the Mets and the Nats. It's been quite a 4th of July so far. Joe Ross has not had a 1-2-3 inning today. He's going to face Bruce, Rivera, and Duda here. 3-4-5 for the Mets. 74 pitches, 48 strikes. Bruce 0 for 2. Great play by Bryce Harper to rob him of a blue pit last time up. And that was big because Cabrera had just walked to lead off the inning. He gets a whole lot more of that one. Harper back and Bryce right in front of the bullpen. Jay Bruce is 0 for his last 18. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. So at Hagerstown, mid-level A ball for the Nats. Mackenzie Mills, 21-year-old lefty, has won 6 in a row. 10-2 with a 2.39. Look at the strikeouts to walks. Mackenzie Mills. He's out of Marietta, Georgia. Nats drafted him out of high school in the 18th round just 3 years ago. A left-hander to keep an eye on. Joe Ross, good slider.
Famous McKenzie's for 1,000, Alex.
Mackenzie Phillips.
Yeah, that's the only one I can come up with. Is it one day at a time?
One inning, one pitch at a time here. It's a great approach. Adam Lind eyeballing this one, and just enough room inside the barrier. 2 down here in the 5th.
Don't miss the Nats on 9. That's Friday. Nats host the Braves. It all starts at 7 p.m. right here on WUSA 9. So join us Friday night, 7 o'clock. We'll be here. Dusty will be here. And the Braves, 8 games back. As we speak, we'll be here.
That'll be the 2nd game of that series. And Max Scherzer, Friday night.
Did you see who's playing 3rd on a rehab assignment for the Braves?
Freddie Freeman, 3rd baseman at Gwinnett.
Not sure about that.
And the reason, of course, Matt Adams joining them.
I mean, he's all for it, but Freddie Freeman's a heck of a first baseman. If you ever seen him throw, he's got the arm. Absolute cannon.
You're asking a superstar to change positions, the best player on your team.
I don't know how mobile he'll be over there. I'm anxious to see, but I mean, he's a team guy. We'll see.
Murphy can't get to it on the shift. So Lucas Duda checks in with a knock. That's his first of this series. He's 1 for 6. The elusive 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, watch how far back Daniel Murphy is. He goes into a slide right here. He might have had a chance. Would have been a long throw going away from the play and having to get up. Kind of sneaks under his glove for a 2-out knock. Those of you that haven't seen Daniel Murphy play second base a whole lot this year, he has been real good. I mean, real good. Reminds me a lot of Jeff Kent, a guy that was not a good defender for the Mets, but when he went over the Giants, made himself an above-average second baseman.
That ball hit hard and foul by Wilmer Flores, is 0 for 2. So the Mets have 7 hits. Nationals have 5. That's a perfect running fastball to the outside edge. 0-2, and Nissan likes it as well. Didn't like it as much as we liked it, but it's 0-2. Flores bouncer to Drew last time. And Joe stays away, ball one. There's Rene Rivera, who went deep to right center last time up. His second career homer against Joe Ross. Pitch count getting up there. Next one will be 85 here with 2 outs in the 5th. Did he go? No appeal. Duda will be going. Checks in with Tom Goodwin, his first base coach.
Always worth a check, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't at least ask John Libka, first base umpire. Lind moves behind Duda at first. And that'll extend the inning even further. Joe Ross with his 3rd walk, and Mike Maddox was out of the dugout almost before the umpire raised his right arm, or didn't raise his right arm. So it's 2 on 2 out, and Rene Rivera coming up. Rivera has walked and homered, and in his career against Joe Ross, he's 2 for 3 with a walk, 2 homers, 2 RBIs.
So Rivera's a catcher. He knows what he hit out last time up. So do you look for something different in a different zone here? You know you're probably not going to see the same pitch in the same spot. I think it might have been a changeup, up and away. Well, here's his last at bat. Yeah, it looked like a slider maybe down the way. He just stayed on it. So a slider last time down the way. First pitch fastball this time, and he wasn't getting cheated again, was he? Waiting for some more baseballs.
Not running out, are we?
No, they just go to the rock quarry over here across the street and get another dozen.
The old cement plant along
Yeah.
the river. You told me somebody at LA ran out of baseballs during batting practice.
Yeah, well, the Mets did against
Mets.
the Dodgers. They were saying the ball was carried in Los Angeles like never before, and during batting practice the Mets ran out of baseballs a few days in a row and had to reload because they were hitting so many home runs. That had never happened to them before.
Swing and a miss. So Joe Ross dropping that one down and away, a beauty, and it's 0-2.
So same pitch, just better execution. He started it as a strike, it went straight down. And Rene Rivera is telling you he is swinging. You do not have to throw anything near in an 0-2 count.
Goes with the fastball, run back action, and how about that location to end the 5th inning?
Might have been a little generous. Joe Ross will take it. Jose Lobaton framed it up and got a big strikeout here to end the 5th. Watch Lobaton pull it back over the plate to get the call.
Personnel, everybody is serving our nation. You guys are brave and you're real true heroes. We just want to say happy 4th of July.
Thank you, Brian Goodwin. Very well said. We go bottom 5 in a 2-2 game.
The Nats wrap up the first half of the season with a 4-game weekend series against the Braves, July 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You see the start times right there. Don't miss your last chance to enjoy Nats baseball at home before the final week of July. Visit Nationals.com/tickets. Might be a big series.
Braves hosting Houston in interleague play starting tonight. They've won 3 straight. They're 1 under 500, 8 back of the Nats. Wilmer Defoe, ball 2. As that breaking ball was diving toward his back foot. He's hit it sharply twice, a comebacker, and then a drive to rather deep center field. He's going to get a clean single up the middle this time. And the Nats have their 6th base hit.
So here's how the Nats got their 2 runs. Go back to the 3rd inning. Jose Lobaton leads her off with the knock. Then how about Michael A. Taylor laying down a sweet base hit bunt? Put it in your pocket. Don't sleep on that bunt. That might be the sneaky play of this ball game. And then, hey, just putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. What a commodity nowadays. Bryce Harper with a 2-out knock and an RBI, and then Daniel Murphy doing what he does best, going the other way for another 2-out knock, and there's your 2 Nats runs.
Bryce 1 for 2. 63 runs batted in, tied with Nolan Arenado, 3rd in the league. Paul Goldschmidt 66. Jake Lamb, also of Arizona, 65. Bryce continues to hang into the batting race as well. 319 now, just a click behind Zach Cozart, an all-star, for 5th in the league. Ball 1, fastball just missing.
You can see what Lugo's trying to do to Harper, everything away, whether it's soft or the fastball. And if you're Bryce Harper, doesn't necessarily mean you have to look away. You could always hunt the mistake out over the plate and try to drive it, but in the 2-0 count, driver's seat. Usually real aggressive in this count, as most hitters are.
2-2 game, bottom 5.
Going sinker away.
Some of these young Mets arms unheralded at the start of the season, pitching well. Matz and now Lugo.
Missed his spot but kept it down, and that was the difference.
Today's a real key game in the series because the Nats have to deal with Jacob deGrom tomorrow night. 2-1 pitch, and Defoe, medium lead, back in easily. Wilmer 2 for 3 stealing, including 1 he swiped in the 4th inning last night. Called out initially. Nats challenged and won it. Two-1, and Bryce pulls one. Right fielder playing out there a ways. Defoe heads to 3rd. He's going to score. Jay Bruce booted it. Harper heading for 3rd. The Nats on top. Everybody's safe.
Well, that's why you don't steal with Bryce Harper up early in the count. You want to leave that hole open just in case he does what he just did. He got the curveball from Lugo. We talked about the high spin rate on the curveball, but it stayed right there for Bryce. And the ball with a lot of top spin on it. I think Jay Bruce might have peeked. He knew that Defoe could run. Maybe he wanted to come up and try to get him at 3rd. You see everybody in their seats standing up. Watch him kind of look up instead of looking the ball into his glove, and that was the difference. Bryce Harper hustling all the way to third base, so give Bryce a lot of credit for getting to third, not just watching that play. Helmet off. Give me a hair flip at the end, would you? I think he did.
Yeah, Bryce isn't running hard out of the box. He doesn't make it to third.
Oh, he's been playing real hard the last couple weeks.
RBI single for Harper. Second of the day. Two-base error, Jay Bruce. And now a chance for a big inning, and that's up and into Murphy. He sliced one over the shortstop's head for an RBI last time up. Don't look now, but Bryce Harper is 2 off the league lead in runs batted in. Pardon me, no RBI because of the error. And a 1-0 to Murphy. That's a one-hopper off the glove of Flores. That thing was spinning like crazy. Now the Nats lead 4-2.
Torture.
And that will be an RBI for Murphy.
I mean, was there any doubt? I mean, you couldn't write the script any better if you're Daniel Murphy. How many guys can do this to their old ball club that didn't want them? You know, usually you just want to play well against your old club because you want to show them what they're missing, you know? But this was an opportunity for the Mets to sign Murphy back. I think they offered him the qualifying offer. He knew he had a chance at a multi-year deal somewhere else. They moved on to Neil Walker, and ever since then, he has absolutely destroyed his old ball club in any way you can imagine.
Unbelievable what he's done against them. Not only this year, but last. So now on the shift with Lynn coming in, Wilmer Flores, the second baseman, is playing between Duda and Cabrera.
I mean, you could bunt here, or you could try to inside out one down the line, but this is a big time shift by the Mets.
Hit the ball hard to left last time, and Rivera ran it down. Still nobody out in the inning. 3 consecutive hits.
I mean, if you made a movie about a player doing this to his old team, you'd say, ah, this movie is so fake. What are you thinking? Nobody does that.
Lind right through the shift. Murphy had to hold up. There were so many defenders over there. Now the Nats have 4 singles in a row.
Yeah, forget that arrow I just drew. Just hit it real hard through the shift. Who cares?
I mean, he squared that baby out.
What are you talking about, FP? I'm just going to do this.
Well, you take what the pitcher gives you, right?
The ball hit too hard for Murphy to go to third, but because of the shift, he was thinking about beating players to the bag, and Jose Reyes had to turn around and peel back to third. He put on the brakes. Line moving here for the Nats here in the bottom of the 5th.
Eric Goodell up in a hurry and throwing. Interesting day for Lugo. Didn't give up any hits till the 3rd, and the Nats got him for 2 runs on 4 hits. A double by Drew last inning, and now here in the 5th. And remember our graphic about the 3rd time around the order? The Nats go 4 for 5. It was 360. It's probably closer to 400 now. And Ryan Rayburn with 2 on, nobody out.
I mean, even with Ryan Zimmerman, Anthony Rendon, Jason Worth, you name it, not in there today. This is still a hard lineup to cut through 3 times. Really is.
Adam Eaton, Trey Turner. I mean, you talk about a good ball club, a good lineup that's on the DL or on the bench today.
Yeah.
And the guys out between the lines getting it done. It's what good ball clubs do. They've out-hit the Mets now 9-7. Here's Rayburn 0 for 1 with a walk. Just looking for something to advance a runner or 2 runners here. And on the appeal, John Lipka says he did go around.
A base hit bunt right here wouldn't be the worst idea in the world either.
Rayburn to right center. And the Nats are going to lead at least 5-2. Murphy scores. Adam Lind being sent. He will score. And now caught between 2nd and 3rd is Rayburn. And he was tagged out by Jose Reyes. But he drives in a couple.
Did Rayburn get back?
He tried to dive under that tag.
I think Dusty wants to check it out in the clubhouse. Max Scherzer on the phone to the clubhouse. Check this out. Not only are you a Cy Young Award winner, you're calling the clubhouse to see if you're going to challenge. Max Scherzer doing it all. I think I'm just going to say everybody should bunt because every time I do, it's a bullet in the gap. And here's another example. Ryan Rayburn going the other way. How valuable has he been off the bench? Dusty Baker's bench always plays well because he uses them. A lot of ball clubs don't use their bench guys. They get stale and they don't offer you a whole lot every 7 or 8 days when they play. Dusty Baker uses his guys and they produce. Did he get under there? I don't think so. Looked like he got him on the hamstring. Either way, damage done. Great at bat once again by Ryan Rayburn.
Bases cleared, 1 out. Nationals lead 6-2 with a 4-run 5th inning. Now here's Stephen Drew, who doubled out that same way his last time. And Ryan Rayburn just doubled his RBIs with the Nats.
I think Chris Spire's losing authority down there in the dugout. Remember we had Jason Worth on the phone last homestand calling the clubhouse to see if they should challenge. Now Max Scherzer. Chris, tighten it up.
And Drew to right center. This one hanging up though for Jay Bruce.
It's got everybody jumping in line to get on the phone down there. What's going on? He's telling Max, stay off the phone. Something's funny. Boys are having fun. Up 6-2.
By the way, if you are scoring the game at home, and we know some of you are, 8-4-5-6 on the play to get Rayburn at second base. Here's Jose Lobaton, who's had a good day. A base hit, a run, and a walk. Lobaton gashes another one. Cabrera on a hop, able to corral it. And the Nats are gone after a very, very exciting 5th inning.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
4th of July, 1939 at Yankee Stadium. Lou Gehrig, who we would lose shortly after that. The ultimate Iron Man until Cal Ripken came along, and that was a moment in history brought to you by University of Maryland, University College. 2,130 consecutive games for the great Gehrig. Brian, good one for Ryan Rayburn, who certainly did a lot of good work today. So the Nats shore up the defense here with 4 innings to go. Joe Ross to Brandon Nimmo with Curtis Granderson on deck. Joe's been presented a 4-run lead here, and he throws a strike to Nimmo, who has 2 singles. There's Granderson, last night's hero, at least for a moment for the Mets. His good slider diving down and in. And he's 3 for 3. 0-2 changeup, taking it the other way. What a day for Brandon Nimmo. So he's got 3 of the 8 New York hits. Their runs produced by solo homers. Jose Reyes leading off the game. And then leading off the 4th, Rene Rivera. Reyes with his 7th, Rivera with his 6th. And here's Curtis Granderson, who hit his 13th last night when the Mets were down to their final pitch.
We talked about how hot he was in the month of June, 8 home runs, and then he picked up right where he left off in July with a pinch hit Tater last night to tie the game in the 9th.
Granderson 3 for 15 career with an RBI. Something going on with Jose Lobaton, it appears.
Crampage.
Umpire Carlos Torres giving him a break, and Joe Ross walking back to hang out for a moment with Stephen Drew until Loby's okay.
Yeah, a little crampage. Got to hydrate today. I'll definitely be hydrating after this game.
Best pinch hitters in the league. Mets have a couple of them. Michael Conforto on the DL. Adam Lynn's been fantastic. Stephen Drew right there with him. Granderson out to center. Michael A. Tate.
I would say that Granderson and Conforto are more everyday players that pinch hit. The Nats guys are not everyday players, and that's their main job. So when you look at those numbers, it's even more impressive on what the Nats guys do, because Conforto and Granderson get tons of at-bats. Adam Lind has kind of forced his way into the lineup with his performance and done a nice job when Dusty Baker asked him to spell Ryan Zimmerman. But when you're not playing every day, it's tough to put up numbers as a pinch hitter.
Top of the order, Jose Reyes. 1 for 3 today. He's hit it hard twice. Drew on the grass at third. And he's going to line one right at Bryce Harper. 2 outs. So Matt Grace is up and throwing. Joe Ross trying to go at least 6 for the 7th time this year. His batting spot due up first in the bottom of this inning. And his pitch counts at 95. Boy, they are swinging. Long way to go for a bunch of guys here. Goodwin's got the beat on it, and he takes charge to make the catch. Joe Ross, a quick top 6. That's by 4.
Members, happy 4th. Thanks for your service.
Nationals with a 6-2 lead here in D.C. There was a time a few weeks ago where Michael A. Taylor was swinging early in counts a lot, being very aggressive, hacking at a lot of first pitches, and having a lot of success with that approach. Of late, he's working deeper into counts and having success going about things that way as well. I talked to Taylor about that earlier on today. He said it's kind of a product of how he's seeing the ball, and he doesn't mean that in the cliche sense. He means it quite literally. He says if he's not picking up the ball early out of the pitcher's hand, he'll find himself taking more pitches and thus going deeper into counts, whereas if he is seeing the ball early on out of the pitcher's hand, just kind of getting a good vision of the seams maybe, he hacks a bit earlier in the count. It kind of ebbs and flows as the season goes on. As for the approach in the leadoff spot, now that he's moved up to that spot, at least for today, says he doesn't plan on changing a thing. He's going to be the same guy that he is when he's hitting down in the order in the 7 or 8 spot.
Thank you, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Joe Ross still in the game. He's thrown 96 pitches. Maybe that 7-pitch inning buys him another frame here. Eric Goodell, 28-year-old right-hander. Spent a good part of the season at AAA Vegas. So it's our Jiffy Lube pitching change. Choose a winning team for your vehicle. Jiffy Lube for value and convenience at JiffyLubeDC.com. 6.67 ERA at AAA. 1-1. Foul tip. 208 in 4 games previously with the Mets.
Now fastball, curveball split changes the out pitch. Fastball averaging 92. Yeah, I think as a hitter, when you swing early in the count, it takes a lot of the thought process out of it. You just go up there and you're aggressive, talking about Michael A. Taylor. And then when you have success swinging early in the count, now you can relax a little bit and get into some counts because you're putting up numbers all of a sudden. He was. You remember there was a few series there where he swung at the first pitch almost every time up, but he was getting hits. There was results. So once you have those results by being aggressive early, it allows you to calm down, relax as a player, and just be an athlete. And now you're okay going deep into a count. You know, I have numbers now. My average looks good up on the scoreboard. I'm helping the ball club win games. So I'm more relaxed as an athlete. Now I can see some pitches go deep into a count and really stick to my game plan. Whereas, you know, if you're nervous and you're just starting to play every day, swinging early takes a lot of the thought process out of the at-bat.
1-2 to Ross, and that's outside. Joe's been able to hack a couple and stay alive. Well, and then I love the added element of what Michael did today with the bunt base hit.
Yeah.
Gives him something else to deal with. Hitting up higher in the order than he usually did. Joe Ross having a good AB here.
I mean, you can't just brain dead hack at the first pitch you see, but, you know, being aggressive with the plan early in the count is sometimes actually relaxing as a hitter. That's why oftentimes when guys are slumping at the plate, a manager will put on the hit and run because they don't have to think and hit. They know they're swinging at the pitch, and it takes the whole thought process of, you know, maybe where my hands are, where the pitch is going to be, what pitch it is out of the equation. Simplifies things.
3-2.
Look at that.
Scatter shot.
Shooting range target.
3-2. Pitch number 9. Good swing. Joe late for it. So the Nats box, nothing till the 4th inning. Lobatone got it started with a single. Then Taylor with that bunt. Then Harper and Murphy with RBIs attached. Then the Nats were back at it. First 5 men hitting safely in the 5th. RBIs by Murphy. 2 by Rayburn, opening up that 4-run lead. Swing and a miss. Time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Masahiro Tanaka now getting it done for the Yankees. Pretty bad for 7 starts and pretty good, but they're 3 back of the Red Sox now in the East. Mike Moustakas, the Moose, he is slugging for the Royals, who are in 2nd place behind Cleveland, AL Central. And then Freddie Freeman, he's at 3rd base at AAA Gwinnett, and we'll have to see how that goes. Taylor, 1 for 3 today. 0 for 2 career against Eric Goodell. And he takes it to get the count in his favor. Target away on 2-1.
Where as a hitter you got a knock under your belt, you get some count leverage, and you're thinking about really letting the throttle out and doing some damage in a 3-1 count in your zone with your pitch.
They give Taylor left center, keeping the ball away from him. Now the count's full.
Oh, 3-2 changeup here.
Got a swing and a miss on that earlier. He misses with it, and Michael A. Taylor is on for the second time.
This goes you how he's seeing the baseball. He was a 3-2 swinger most of his career, meaning he's swinging on a 3-2 count no matter where it is. He saw that change up early, spit on it, and now he's aboard. Good at bat.
Here comes Wilmer Defoe. A 1 for 3 ballad he has sung today.
Yeah, I feel like I should be making some pottery every time he walks up to that. I think of that scene in Ghost every time he walks to the plate.
Well, base hit up the middle, a run scored last time up, and Taylor 9 for 12 in stolen bases, drawing attention here.
Do you want to make an ashtray with me real quick?
No. Never needed one of those in my life. Not about to. Or any ceramic in the booth.
Always makes a good stocking stuffer, that homemade ashtray made out of clay.
Ceramic does not do well at altitude, I've been told. Taylor, really big lead. And a lean and a long look, and he's holding. Defoe takes it outside, 1-0. Josh Edgin's been ready for a while, so he's toweling off. You would think he's for the on-deck hitter, and Murphy behind Harper. Wilmer Defoe takes it 2-0, and here comes Rivera again. He's already thrown 10 pitches to Joe Ross in this inning. Then Goodell walked Taylor. Now he's gone 2-0 on Defoe, and he needs to right this thing before the game slips away from the Mets.
See if Michael A. Taylor thinks about rolling here, or Dusty thinks about a hit and run, the 2-0 count. Big lead by Taylor. Look at that. My goodness.
There he goes. Great jump. And even Rivera's good strong throw can't get him. That's number 10 for Michael A. Taylor.
I mean, he was at about 13 feet and he got way out. Look where his foot is. It's past the cutout, and the cutout here at Nats Park is way out there. So Michael A. Taylor with about a 15-foot lead right there, a good jump, and basically a modified pitch out. Rene Rivera can really throw, can't get him.
Yeah, Rivera 41% this year. Defoe takes the walk. So the Nats have put themselves in position to put this game away. Harper will be facing the left-hander Josh Edgen. So Goodell retires only the opposing pitcher here in the 6th inning. And it'll be Harper in a moment with the Nats already on top by 4.
Looking to do some damage and put this one on ice for the Nats. I want to show you some StatCast on Bryce's last at-bat. Watch Wilmer Defoe running around the bases. So he did a nice job of staying back on the curveball. Watch Wilmer and the speed around the bases. More importantly, watch the dotted line coming around third. For you younger base runners, stay close to the baseline. It's a shorter route, so he cut it pretty tight around third base, stay close to the dirt, a shorter route, makes it a lot quicker, and Bryce Harper hustling all the way from the get-go, gets into third base. So good stuff from StatCast, and Bryce Harper looking to do it again right here.
Yeah, 2 for 3 already today. 2 for 13 career with a homer, 2 RBIs against the lefty Josh Edgen, who came in last night. He walked Stephen Drew pinch hitting in the 9th, and then got a fly ball against Adam Lind right before he left, and Salas gave up the Rayburn walk-off. StatCast brought to you from Fios by Verizon. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Go to getfios.com.
Fastball slider, he'll cut the fastball. 3 main pitches from Josh Edgen. He usually throws that slider down and away to Bryce Harper. But Bryce having a good day with a couple of knocks, looking to add on right here, right now.
That's by 4. They've out-hit the Mets 10-8. Fastball up in the zone, outer half. They both walked, and Taylor stole second before Defoe got the pass.
More sun out right now. Bryce Harper going with the shades this at bat, something we've seen him do this year a bunch. I always thought shades were beneficial for a hitter because you could peek and see where the catcher was setting up, and nobody could see you peeking.
Ha! 2-1.
Now there's cameras right on you all the time, so as a hitter, if you look back at the catcher and a team sees you peeking, you're going to get drilled. But when you wear these, sometimes you can give a little glance back there and see where the guy's setting up. It might give you a clue on what pitch is coming. Not saying he's doing it, I'm just saying it's been done before.
2-1. Way inside, and the Mets bullpen 1 pitch away from walking the bases full here in the 6th inning.
And he's looking to do some more damage against the Mets. He's drooling over there in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, 2 hits today, 2 RBIs. Bryce got time and backed out. You know, you've made that point about this lineup before. Bryce knows if he doesn't get a pitch to work with here, he doesn't have to do anything except take his base on balls because there's a guy he trusts behind him. And it goes right on down the line with this team that came in 276 and 458 runs. So Harper walks, not that he would even offer it that, but that stood him up straight. The bases are loaded.
What do you think Terry Collins is thinking right now? Here comes that guy again.
Dan Murphy, as he calls him.
3 walks in a row.
Murphy, of course, remember the Sunday night game in New York? Grand slam against the Mets early in that contest. So 2 RBIs today, 103 hits, and he's driven in 57. April 23rd against Zach Wheeler.
Pretty good numbers career with the bases loaded.
Mets won that game 6-3. And Murphy takes a strike. Yeah, that was in the top of the first. So look out, Buster.
Might have been hanging loose on that first pitch after the ball 4 to Bryce.
Yeah. Buster Posey and the Giants are at Detroit today.
So damage early in the count, and if you haven't seen Daniel Murphy very often, this is where he takes a lot out of his swing and thinks about going the other way.
Bottom 6, Nats by 4. And Murphy will jump back from ball 1.
Pretty good pitch.
A breaking ball and a base hit. Taylor scores. Defoe scores. Harper to third. Daniel Murphy has a 4 RBI day.
I don't think there's a better left-handed hitter in baseball. I'm sorry. I mean, we watch him play every day, and it doesn't matter if it's a 3-1 count, a 1-2 count, doesn't matter. So first pitch slider for Medj, and then he goes fastball up. Murphy misses it. Tries to front door the slider here. Rene Rivera didn't get the call, and then makes a pretty good pitch, right? That wasn't a bad slider down, and Murphy just goes and digs it out for another base hit. And another twist of the knife to his old ball club. Unbelievable what he's done to the Mets. Unbelievable.
Still only 1 out. Lind stepping in. Murphy, first career hit against Josh Edgin. 2 RBIs attached to it. Adam Lind. Fly ball against his pitcher last night. That's going to score a run. Reyes has to play it well, and the Nationals lead 9-2.
Too many ball clubs could throw out 5 bench guys for a day game at 11 o'clock, and be leading a game 9-2 in the 6th inning. That's what the Nats are doing to the Mets right now. Unbelievable. There you go.
He's caught Buster Posey. First at bat today for Brian Goodwin. Came in to replace Rayburn in left field in the top of this inning, which was a long time ago. As Matt Grace continues to throw, looks like Joe Ross is done after 96 pitches and a big lead. Neil Ramirez throwing for them now. Joe batted in this inning.
Let's give you an idea how good Daniel Murphy is. The best pitch of that sequence was the pitch he hit. You know, first pitch slider was up. The fastball he fouled back was up. He tried the front door of the slider. That pitch was decent by Edgin, and then he buries a slider almost in the dirt, and he digs it out for 2 more RBIs and a base hit. Unbelievable.
Goodwin, that one right off the end of the bat. Brian 1 for 1 against Josh Edgin with an RBI this year. That was a line drive double. One-two pitch.
And then, you know, he rewards himself with the saltless seeds in his back pocket. I'm watching him right now. See Brian Goodwin at home this year. Loves the white uni.
Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss on a big hook. Another big inning for the Nats. All 3 batters, Goodell and Edgin, walked, scored. And on this Independence Day, USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. Thank you for your service from the Nats, from Masson, and from USAA.
Nats up 9-2 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Washington area Toyota dealers help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Well, Dusty struck me out with his changeup. He stays with Joe Ross here with a big lead, 7 runs after 6 innings, and Joe sitting at 96 pitches, 64 strikes. Bruce Rivera Duda 3-4-5 for the Mets. Jay Bruce 0 for 3 today. He's been robbed by Bryce Harper, and then he pinned Bryce up against the bullpen fence with a long fly ball 2 innings ago. Shift on, Murphy well into right field, and a strike on the outside edge.
In case you hadn't heard, in Joe Ross's first 4 starts of the year, he had 62 runs of support. That's a major league record for any pitcher in his first 4 starts of a season. And he's got 9 more here today. It seems like every time he pitches, the Nats score.
I guess Dusty figures the longer he leaves them in, they'll get a couple more runs.
14-4 his first start, 15-12 his second, 23-5 against the Mets on April 30th, and then a 10-1 win against Seattle on May 23rd.
Ball slap foul.
He had a 10-5 win after that, an 18-3 win against Cincinnati on June 24th, and he's got 9 more here today. It's a fight at the bat rack to get in the lineup when Joe Ross pitches.
And even when he didn't qualify for a win, the Nats scored 23 on the Mets that day. That's crazy. 1-2 to Jay Bruce. Swing and a miss on a nasty slider. One of his best of the day. Strikeout number 5.
Just plugging along, throwing strikes. Gave up a couple of runs, one in the first, one in the fourth, and then done a nice job of making the adjustments on the fly. Had to get through the first couple of innings, didn't have the feel for the slider. And now maybe a little more relaxed as he gets to 100 pitches with the strikeout.
TJ Rivera 2 for 3 today. He's got the slider going.
He's seeing TJ Rivera to a pull swing. He and Jose Lobaton are saying, well, you're going to pull off like that. We're going to keep throwing sliders away, maybe even fastballs away. But Rivera made the adjustment his second time up in that base hit to right, but right now he looks like he wants to pull.
Oh, 2 pitch again, and Rivera able to lay off. Joe Ross looking for his 5th win. And a very defensive stay alive swing by TJ Rivera. Josie Array started the day at 5.12. He's at 4.91 now. Good job of, as FP said, as the reporters would say, scattering those 8 hits. Mets have never had more than 2 in an inning. That ball's hit hard. Defoe, short hop, and a bullet to first. Brilliant play by the rookie. 2 down.
Adrian Sanchez, shortstop last night, approves of the shortstop today's play on a kind of a top spin line drive into a short hop. Got to his feet quickly, and a strong throw from Wilmer Defoe going into left field to his feet. Let it rip across the infield. What a play. Anthony Rendon, who made some sweet plays last night, definitely approves.
Base is empty, 2 outs. Here's Lucas Duda.
Told that was an 85-mile-an-hour throw across the infield. If you care about stuff like that, pretty strong arm. Flat-footed.
On the changeup, Joe missing 2-0. And a ball well hit, hooking foul. And a strike call. Sliding to the inside edge. 2-2. Started this inning with 96 pitches. This is the most Joe's thrown this year by a pretty wide margin. Previous high 103 twice. Great catch by a fan in the mezzanine right side.
Got a hug for the effort. I like it.
Outside as Ross, now the most he's ever thrown in a start, 112.
Dusty Baker and Mike Maddox not afraid to let their starters go deep into games. So when you look at the most pitches on average per start in the National League, there you go. Max Scherzer, Gio Gonzalez, Steven Strasburg. Tanner Roark's right up there too, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes. Three-two again. Swing and a miss, and what a time for Joe Ross's first 1-2-3 inning of the 4th of July. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals, who lead 9-2. Stanley W. ball cap. And did this one turn in the Nats' favor in a hurry? 7 runs in 2 innings. This was a tight ball game. And then all these guys without a home run start stringing hits together.
Yeah, I mean, and lost in the line movement here, and Daniel Murphy continuing to torture his old ball club was Joe Ross plugging along. I mean, early on the slider wasn't sliding. There was some balls going far and balls going hard, and all of a sudden he relaxes a little bit, realizes he's got a good offense behind him, and then the offense shows up. So Joe Ross giving Dusty Baker a good 7-inning outing against a pretty good hitting ball club, and the Nats are doing their thing with 5 extras in the lineup today. That's how deep this ball club is.
And the Nats are, at least in a moment, on the verge of their 50th win of the year. Neil Ramirez will take over for the Mets as we go bottom 7. So the league hitting .266 against him. He'll be facing Drew Lobatone. And we're assuming a pinch hitter for Joe Ross, who's now way up there in pitches, having pitched 7 very solid innings. That's Matt Reynolds in left field. So Rivera out, the Mets pitcher batting 4th, and Reynolds will be in the number 9 spot. Stephen Drew up there hacking. 1 for 3 with a double to right center today. And Drew faces Neil Ramirez for the first time.
Well, he's got his batting gloves on. He's going up there to hack.
Well, and with the luxury of a big lead, he could do that and give Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman, and Matt Wieters an entire day off. Not have to worry about hitting for anybody. Just really give those guys a day off their feet and have them revved up for tomorrow night against Jacob deGrom. Well, it's a great thing when it works out with the lineup like that. Then you can have all the big boys in for a tough opponent tomorrow. And Drew off to the left side.
Dusty Baker, Jock Jones asking Joe Ross if he wants to hit. I think he's already answered that question based on the helmet and batting gloves are on.
Yeah.
They might be giving him flack for being the only guy without a base knock today, because Joe Ross can hit.
Yeah. I think this will be the 2nd or 3rd time this year that he'll have at least 4 at-bats in a game.
It might have been about the run support, too. Who knows?
So Stephen Drew down on strikes. Here's Jose Lobatone, who also will face Ramirez for the first time.
A lot of heartfelt walk-up songs for the Nats today.
No, it's 1:45 in the afternoon. It sounds like a prom.
You know, I always thought that wasn't a bad idea. You go up there to some really fast song and your feet are quick. A nice slow song, maybe you slow your feet down. And
it's a good thought.
Yeah.
Let the pitcher lead and take whatever he gives you.
Give your cell phone number to the catcher and jog to first.
Two and 0. Start. Oh, what a play. Cabrera elevated as Drupal robbing Jose Lobatone, who continues to swing well against the Mets. And here's Joe Ross with his 4th at bat.
Yeah, pretty good day for Jose Lobatone. He wants a couple of hits to show for the day, but a base hit his first time, a bullet to Cabrera's 2nd time, and as Drupal robbing his former teammate right there of his 2nd hit of the day. A pretty good approach and a nice play by Cabrera.
Blake Trinan was up throwing with Matt Grace, and now Matt has taken a seat. He was up 2 different times. And that's inside to Joe Ross, 1-1. 6, 7, 8 for the Mets in the 8th.
Joe Ross just wants to put one in play here, I think.
Yeah. Up and in, and it's 2-2. He struck out 3 times today. But in this day and age, whenever a starting pitcher's batting in the 7th inning, that's a pretty different, significant thing. That's in there. Nats go in order. We're going to the 8th. 9-2 Washington, 6 outs away from a series win. Today's MASN telecast, celebrating Independence Day, brought to you by SAIC, redefining ingenuity. By DynCorp International, we serve today for a better tomorrow. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces veterans and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. Happy 4th to our viewers, and a special thanks to our United States Armed Forces who protect and defend our great nation every day. Ryan Zimmerman, 4th of July, 2006. The Nats were down a run in the bottom of the 9th, and he adds to the legend against the Florida Marlins with a 3-run walk-off homer against Joe Borowski. It was Ryan's 12th career home run. That gave him 56 RBIs for that year. He was on a 7-game hitting streak, hitting over 320 at home. I remember the freeze frame of Zimmerman's jump. That's the video from which that came. Ryan, most home runs on the 4th of July, more than Jolton Joe, home run Baker of the Yankees, who won a couple of World Series games for them with homers, the great Mantle and the great Babe. So evidently the 4th belonged to the Yankees until this guy came along.
That's a lot of pressure having a first name home run.
Blake Trinan. And home run Baker didn't hit that many, but for the old Athletics, he won a couple of World Series games against the Yankees with home runs.
I love that shot of Ryan Zimmerman in the Derek Jeter stance. All crouched down and spread out. The swing's the same, but the setup in the stance a lot different than it is today.
Blake Trinan against Wilmer Flores here. 1-1 count, top of the 8th. And the fastball outside at 99, 2-1. Flores 4 for 6 with an RBI against the Nats right-handed reliever. Right side, Murphy was played up the middle, and that ball to his left, right where a second baseman usually would be. So a base hit for Flores. Rene Rivera is next. 0 for 5 against Trinan. That's 9 hits for the Mets, indicating how well Joe Ross did to make big pitches and keep runners stranded. They left 9 on base against him today.
I wish there was a way to do a study on the psychological effect a ground ball to where a guy's been standing for 150 years usually stands and isn't there, compared to when the shift actually works for him.
Yeah.
You know, you do your job as a pitcher, you turn around, there's nobody there. That's got to be something that's tough to deal with. Even more so than if the shift and everybody's in the right place, I would think. And I don't know how you do a study on that. I'm not smart enough.
1-0 pitch.
Probably affects different pitchers differently, right? Some guys shrug it off and say, I'll get the next guy. Some guys probably bothers them for a few hitters or days.
There's a bouncing ball. Defoe. Murphy, 6 for 3 from the guy who's the double play specialist when he's going well, Blake Trinan.
Minutes. Nice job of getting back in the strike zone, getting another routine ground ball. This time somebody's standing there, Wilmer Defoe, and because Rene Rivera's running, he's got plenty of time. Watch how deliberate Daniel Murphy is. Nicely done.
Brandon Nimmo is 3 for 3 today. Matches up with Blake Trinan for the first time. .92 on a slider. And down. Nasty. Everybody playing straight up here. And the 100 is in sight, 2-1.
Is there anybody in the big leagues that throws 100 that easy?
You think about that, and most of them are max effort guys.
A lot of guys throw 100 nowadays. It isn't what it used to be, but Blake Trinan is effortless in his ability to reach triple digits.
It's a strike, and it's 3-2. Took a little bit off. 98. Threw him a strike, and that's out of play, left side.
Trying to check in with a 4 for 4 here today on the 4th.
Strike 3 call. Nimmo tossed his bat, and then he was called out on strikes. So Blake Trinan, a 3-batter 8th inning, his forte, the twin killing and the K.
After a 2-run second, makes it 9-2 Nats as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Joe Ross doing a nice job with the career high 114 pitches, but you saw the Daniel Murphy numbers on the bottom against the Mets. Unbelievable, and the beat goes on today for Murph. So another 3 hits. Don't forget he lined out to right his first time. There's the jousting Phil Mickelson finish that we love when he's running to first base. So in that damage that you saw in the graphic, add 8 home runs to it for Daniel Murphy against his old ball club. Unbelievable the way he's hit against everybody, really, but just not that easy. It really isn't.
Neil Ramirez still pitching. Michael A. Taylor.
Look, he's not done yet. He's looking at video of Neil Ramirez right now.
If anybody gets on, he'll bat in this 8th inning. Taylor on base 2 out of 4 times today. A single, a walk, a steal. 2 runs scored. 1-1.
Could be searching best places to watch the fireworks tonight.
First thing that came up said couch. Kind of weird to think that we've been here for 3 hours and we're into the 2 o'clock hour. Somebody may or may not make it the rest of the way. BCFP DK.
That's how I'm feeling right about now.
Michael A. with a count of 2-2. Way inside, just past his left sleeve. Count goes to 3-2. Neil Ramirez, by the way, worthy of note, from Kempsville High School in Virginia Beach. Originally drafted in the first round, 44th player overall, taken by the Rangers back in 07. That was Chase Bradford. And Taylor pulls it to short. Jose Reyes, quick release. Taylor by a step. 1 out. Enter our 4th of July giveaway. You better do it today on Facebook. Facebook.com/Masson Nationals, and your chance to win an autographed Max Scherzer jersey. Facebook.com/Masson Nationals.
Pretty good giveaway.
Swinging a foul tip to Wilmer Difo, who's been on base twice. Single, walk. Fabulous play at shortstop on TJ Rivera, and he has scored a couple.
Well, a lot like Michael A. Taylor in center field with the injury to Adam Eaton, Wilmer Difo has a tremendous opportunity to establish himself at this level. You know, he's been a guy that's been up and down, a bench guy trying to find his kind of fit. I mean, he keeps playing like today. He's going to get some serious look at shortstop.
That went right in on his hands. He came up shaking his left hand after that swing. Well, we saw this young guy for the first time last year. I remember Mark Shalaba telling me around the cage what a good defender he was, how quick he was, good hands, and at times surprising pop for his size.
But I think it's easier on a winning ball club to contribute on a daily basis, especially with the lineup the Nats have. You don't have to do a whole lot. Just make the routine play at shortstop, do the little things on offense, and you don't feel pressure to carry the load when you have the lineup these guys have. So, you know, do something to help your ball club win. It's easier to contribute on a winning team first go around the major leagues than it's a losing team. If it's a losing team, Carp, it's about your numbers. It's about me hitting 300 and showing I can play at this level. But when you're on a first place ball club, it might be an 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt and 3 sweet plays at shortstop, and now you're helping your ball club win.
2-2 with 1 out. Difo base hit the other way, and he's on 3 times in a row. And remember, he hit the ball hard his first 2 times up unrewarded. So a good day for Wilmer.
Base hit to where the shortstop always used to stand. Look at him get on top. Nice swing. Tough for a lefty to get on top of a high fastball. Just a little knee tuck and go. Playing pepper. Putting the ball in play. Jose Reyes up the middle and a ground ball to short. Turns into a base hit for Wilmer and a nice day. Number of big league games where 2 Wilmers are starting in the history of baseball. Go.
All I can think of is Wilmer, Vinegar Bend, Mizell
The fact
pitching against somebody named Wilmer about 40 years ago.
I don't think it's ever happened. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to pretend I'm Elias right now.
Okay.
And I'm going with it. There's your Wilmers.
Yeah. And Flores became a starter 10 minutes before first pitch. So it was just destined to happen. That one, a swing and a miss by Bryce, and right through Rivera. And down to second goes Wilmer Difo.
Getting closer to the other Wilmer.
Terry Collins and his pitching coach Dan Warthen. Mets have the second highest ERA in the National League, coming in 4.84. So it's going up. The only worse, the Reds at 5.24 staff ERA. That's called a wild pitch. Oh, 2 to Bryce Harper. Right side off the glove and a base hit for Bryce. Difo keeps on coming, safe at home, and it's 10-2.
So Bryce Harper having a nice day too. Here's another hit, his 3rd of the day. Lucas Duda into a dive, deflects it to Cabrera, who was going to back up Duda had it got by him, and then Wilmer never stops. Run till they tag you, Wilmer. Bob Henley tell him to stop. It just held up the stop sign. Hey, you're not looking at your third base coach here. You're watching the play. If you're looking at your third base coach and the play's behind you, it's too late by the time you see him. So you got to make up your mind on your own. That's good base running by Wilmer Difo to make it an 8-run lead for the Nats, and Terry Collins going to make a change.
Yeah, Chase Bradford coming in, trying to keep this an 8-run game. Nats dancing here at Nationals Park. Washington offense remarkable again today. 10 more runs on 13 hits. The Nats get their first look at Chase Bradford, another one of those guys out of Silverado High School, Vegas. He pitched at the University of Central Florida. Mets 35th rounder 6 years ago, and his 4th appearance of the year.
It's about my dance level, by the way, in case you're wondering. Fastball slider change, fastball 89.
Nats have scored 10 or more for the 14th time this year. They're at 468 runs. And the team batting average probably inching back up to the 278, 279 range. Murphy 3 hits today. 4 RBIs. Harper just got his 2nd RBI. 1-1.
I mean, you get the feeling this is going somewhere firm, right? Doesn't take a rocket scientist.
I'd call it an educated guess. Murphy to the gap in right center. Yeah. 4 hits for him. Harper heading for 3rd. Bob Henley will casually send him, and the Nationals lead 11-2. A 5 RBI day for Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, for your effort, you can go sit down now. Daniel hits Murphy. Slider just goes down and gets it. I mean, the hand-eye coordination, the barrel of the baseball, he's making it look so easy, folks. It's not this easy. I mean, at the highest level, it's hard to get 1 hit. And Daniel Murphy seems to get 2 or 3 every night. That's his 4th today. Look at Bryce Harper hustling to get his buddy an RBI in a 10-2 ball game. So give Bryce Harper a lot of credit. He had a nice day, played hard. Daniel Murphy, the hits just keep coming. Who's better? Tell me. Go.
No one. Adrian Sanchez, the rookie, in as the pinch hitter, or pinch runner. Adam Lind. So both of those runs charged to Neil Ramirez. I mean, Dusty's resting several regulars, and they've scored 11 runs on 14 hits. And that's a hot shot right at Wilmer Flores. Low throw, 2 down. So the Nats about to go 11.5 up on the Mets and lead them in the season series 9-3. The Braves 8 back. And of course, they'll be here for 4 this weekend after they get done hosting Houston. The team who scored an amazing amount of runs with homers this year in the American League. So we'll see how that Atlanta pitching staff does for the next couple of days against those guys. Astros 56-27. Brian Goodwin took over in left field in the 6th inning. First at bat, struck out swinging in the bottom of the 6th. And another hard hit ball, but it's right at Cabrera. So the Nats, a great job of adding on today. They have 4 crooked numbers on the board, scoring 11. Nats will be going for a sweep, it appears, behind Tanner Roark, who's 6-2 career against the Mets with a very good ERA. Hoping that Tanner can be strong out of the gate and take on Jacob deGrom, who's 8-3, and with an 0.84 ERA, 4-0 his last 4 times out. 6:30 p.m. Johnny and Ray, Nats Extra. First pitch from Tanner, 7:05. Oliver Perez for the Nats here in the top of the 9th inning. 27th appearance, 14 hits in 17 innings, 21 Ks from all those different angles.
Yeah, 2 pitches, bunch of different arm angles, bunch of different deliveries. Fastball in the low to mid 90s, slider in the low 80s.
So Oliver Perez on the mound, and Adrian Sanchez takes over after running for Murphy at second base. For the Mets, it's Matt Reynolds. Reynolds in to play left field in the 7th. Johnny and Ray here at the ballpark today. And a lot to talk about offensively, as well as Joe Ross in the Nats Extra postgame show, presented by W.B. Mason.
Got to get to 2 strikes to hear the Matador music they play when Oli Perez gets to 2 strikes. Just started doing it, what, about 3 appearances in?
I know, we've really come to like that here. So, there's strike 2. Somebody hit the wrong button.
Yep. That's fine.
I know they're listening in the control room. Matador, please, on the next 2-strike count. Thank you.
We don't want to wake anybody up.
Yeah, that's true. Way inside, ball 3. Swing and a miss. 1 out in the 9th.
Elevated fastball here, 93 miles an hour.
Jose Reyes got his day started off big time with a leadoff homer first inning. Since then, the Mets just 1 other run on the Rivera. That's Rene Rivera, leadoff homer in the 4th. Impressive job by Joe Ross of scattering 8 hits in his 7 innings. And Reyes got jammed and popped it up right side. Look at Wilmer Defoe acting like the veteran, calling off the rookie. 2 outs. Pretty impressive what Joe did today, FP.
He did. He felt for the slider early, locked in. Did a nice job. 114 pitch, 7-inning effort. Dusty Baker will take that every single time from Joe Ross. So, with a lot of fireworks here, 14 hits, 11 runs. Maybe that got lost in the shuffle, but Joe Ross did a good job.
As Drupal Cabrera, batting right-handed, final hope for the Mets. 0 for 3 today with a walk. In the series, 0 for 5, 3 walks. So the Nats on the verge of their 50th win, trying to go 16 over. They would be 7 over 500 at home, 9 over against the East. Well hit, left field, and a base hit for Asdrubal Cabrera. That'll give Jay Bruce another chance to get out of his rough patch here. 0 for 4 today and 0 for 19. Not like him at all.
You're thinking 11-2, big deal as Asdrubal Cabrera got a base hit, but hey, they all count when you're 0 for 3 and you turn it into a 1 for 4. That's a big at bat for any player. Something to show for the day.
Oliver Perez with that side-winding 96 heater. Strike one.
96.
We've seen him hump it up a few times here lately. Oliver seems to be getting stronger as the season goes on. Doesn't often get a full inning of work. And a 1-1 pitch. That ball is hit really well to center. Taylor can only watch it fly out of here. And Jay Bruce is 0 for no more. It's now 11-4. Ball was crushed. And for Bruce, his 21st of the year, gives him 57 RBIs.
The 21st home run of the year, like you said. Where's the fastball? Middle in, or middle according to PitchCast, and Jay Bruce with a very short, compact swing, providing a lot of pop. Maybe Ali Perez provided a lot of the energy for that home run, but a simple swing by Jay Bruce. And like I said, they all count. He just turned an 0 for 4 into a 1 for 5 with a homer.
Yeah. There's Travis d'Arnaud in the pitcher's spot. There's Jay Bruce's first career home run against Oliver Perez. And d'Arnaud is swinging a miss.
A little emotion behind that fastball from Ali.
There it is. In the air to right. Bryce Harper's had a great day. Why not make the last catch? And the Nats take care of the Mets. They've won the series. They'll go for the sweep against Jacob deGrom tomorrow, and a very decisive win with the offense doing its thing and Joe Ross his today, as well as Defoe Murphy and some others. Feel good 4th of July at Nationals Park, and the boys have 50 wins on the year.